right. Here we go. What's going on? Welcome everybody to the Suge Show slash. We don't know what this name of this podcast is yet, but welcome. Came to hang out and talk some nerd stuff with my good friend, my fellow
Damn right.
nerd, my good buddy, Chris Anthony Lopez. What's going on, buddy?
What's poppin', dude? It's been a minute.
It
Look at
has been
you.
a minute. It has been a minute. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm getting um, you know, just acclimated to doing stuff outside, been recording some for Chris's sakes outside, but really first time doing stuff on video. We just set up this whole little outdoor patio area. So you might hear some cicadas, you might hear some trains going by, but we'll be all good. I'm here.
Yeah, it's all right, man. We're not that professional, but we are professional, or at least we try to be.
We try.
But yeah. It's always good to hang out with you, man. I miss talking to you, miss talking
Likewise.
stuff. So I hit you up and was like, "Hey, what are you doing tomorrow?" And you were like, "Nothing." I was like, "Well, want to talk some nerd stuff?" And you were like,
We're doing
"Let's do it."
something now, dude.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk. We're mainly gonna talk about Wakanda Forever. The
Yep.
trailer was released at Comic Con.
Yeah.
Um, and then we might talk about some other stuff that dropped at Comic Con. Maybe get your thoughts on some stuff because I know you were tweeting about a lot of things. Super
Yeah.
excited about a lot that dropped at Comic Con. I remember I was talking to somebody earlier that day. I think on Friday, and I said, "Yeah, I heard Marvel's not going to drop anything really big." And they're like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's what I heard. I heard they're not really going to go for it because."
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, it was just Marvel's weekend. Like DC's just sitting there, like, what are we supposed to do?
Yeah, it's crazy how like everyone forgot DC was also there, and we got stuff from Warner Brothers, and they showed us the first trailer for Shazam: Fury of the Gods,
Yeah.
and we got a little like minute teaser trailer thing for Black Adam, and they both were fine. I liked the Shazam trailer a good amount, but Marvel just swallowed them up a few hours later, and I was shocked how much Marvel gave us. I was very, very surprised. Did you see any like rumors or any type of leaks?
I
Leaks?
saw all kinds of stuff coming out, especially if you like a nerd like me who's on damn TikTok where they spoil everything.
I
I
did.
like
Okay. Yep.
like there was one guy that was out there like just screaming for like they're going to announce Henry Cavill's coming back as Superman. It's going to be the
Oh
greatest thing ever,
wow.
and nothing happened. But the video was funny because they're like, yeah, when they announced it, we're all going to go crazy, and no, nothing happened. And real quick, I just want to get some shout outs to Ravens Online Gatekeeper, the big homie Hendo, obviously Brodney. What's up? How you doing
What's
today? Hope
going
you're having a great day.
on? What's up, Rodney?
Mr. J to six. Yeah, Mr. J stops by my streams, watching me play Magic, and just goes, I don't even know what you're doing. So,
Jay, I'm the
so I
same
appreciate
way.
Mr. J.
When Suge's talking about Magic, playing Magic, I'm like, what is going on here? Like, what is
Yeah,
this? But Suge gets it, so it's all that matters, right?
right. He says, Black Adam looked fire. Yeah, I saw the
Black Adam
trailer.
looks cool.
Okay, I'm gonna give you before we get into Black Panther. I'll give you my honest
Yeah, go
opinion.
ahead. Go ahead. We can talk Black Adam for a second.
I just think Black Adam is just a rock movie and not even a comic book entry to a bigger picture. It just looks
Okay.
like it looks good. It doesn't look. It's not like a
Right.
Rampage or Skyscraper or San Andreas,
Two movies I
but
saw in the theater: Rampage and
yes,
Skyscraper.
but I don't know. I don't know. I just don't know. Something's coming off about that movie where I'm just like, I don't know. Like, if The Rock's going to be in it, it's going to make money, but is it going to connect the way that what WB is trying to do to like kind of mimic what Marvel has done?
So that's like the big question, right? Like with Warner Brothers, and every time they do an event like this, everyone's like, how are they gonna? What splash are they gonna make? What's the big splash that will get them to Marvel's level? And especially after this past weekend, there's nothing DC can do that'll get them to Marvel's level. And we'll talk about the Marvel stuff in a second, but like Shazam and Black Adam, obviously two characters that are incredibly intertwined with each other, so maybe they'll cross over at some point. But folks were clamoring for Henry Cavill, and that was the big rumor. right before San Diego Comic-Con. Not, oh, Marvel's gonna announce Secret Wars. Not that. It was Henry Cavill going on the Hall H stage, coming back as Superman. That was the big, like, shit. I think Deadline had even talked about it, or they talked about the rumor that was going around. And obviously, we didn't get that, and it's a bummer because I'm looking forward to Black Adam. I'm looking forward to Shazam. I think Black Adam looks cool. It
Yeah.
Am I scared that it's gonna bog down like the Justice Society? Because Hawkman looks awesome, but I don't want the character to suck. And
Yeah.
Atom Smasher looks sick. I don't want the character to suck. And this whole time it's been rock, 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 Black Adam, Black Adam, Black Adam. It's like, what are we trying to do here? And I'm very intrigued on the reviews before the movie comes out and how critics are
Yeah.
going to handle it. That's my big. I don't usually take critics' word for stuff. I like to go see things for myself. But Black Adam is one of those rare cases where I'm Jones and see how other people view it first, and then when I go see it for myself, that's when like that's when I'll gather everything up and go from there. But DC, they're in a horrible spot right now. I do not envy them.
Yeah, and like you said, Shazam and Black Adam are intertwined, so you would think automatically they're gonna cross over. And this is the problem with DC is DC they just have no direction. They have no they don't have a point to that an end game for excuse the pun. As in with Marvel, yes, they were doing stuff on the fly, but now they've kind of planned stuff out. And if you think about it, like Miss Marvel wasn't the biggest fan of good show, wasn't a big fan of it. Moonlight, Loki was really good. We did some stuff on Loki when we were watching it. People have said they've been disappointed with Thor Love and Thunder, you know, Multiverse of Madness, everything like that. And even though people are upset with those or don't like those, they released all this stuff over the weekend, and you see the direction. You're going, oh, okay, it all leads here. So even though you might not like that stuff, like I've heard a ton of people with Thor: Love and Thunder, they just didn't care for it. It's leading somewhere, and DC's
Right.
not doing that, and it sucks because I was actually a very big DC fan as a growing up as a kid. So I personally want to see DC succeed. I want to see DC rival what Marvel's doing because it only makes it healthy. It gives you options. You're a big wrestling fan. Back in the '90s when WCW and WWE were going at each other, it made things healthy. Right now with AEW and WWE, it's making it healthy. So competition makes things happy. Sorry, not happy. Makes things healthy. And so,
Right.
therefore, that's what I want to see. I want to see both of them succeed because I'm willing to go pay my money to go see both. Uh, but when you just don't have a sense of direction or what you want to do, it's just lackluster. Like that's why I say I don't feel anything for Black Adam. Like I
No, I
should.
feel
I
that.
should be excited, and I don't feel it. I
Mhm.
just feel like, okay, I'll see it. It is what it is. You drop that Black Panther trailer. You drop Secret Wars. You drop name titles of King the Dynasty, and I'm like, oh, that yeah, let's go.
You're giving us something
Let's
to
go.
look forward to, right? And that's the thing where DC, like, they're such in a state of array and they don't know what they're doing in regards to their film releases. um, Ravens Online said it earlier that DC is non-animation's not good. I wouldn't go that far, but I would say that their animated stuff's where they succeed. Like their animated materials, I just started watching the new DC animated universe stuff. So I think it's a Superman, Man of Tomorrow, and I literally have in my watch list right now on my TV on my HBO Max, Batman: The Long Halloween, the one that just came out not too long ago. So there are certain DC things that I'm jazzed for. I'm excited to see, but it's just not the live action movies. At least not as excited as I should be. You know, like I should be super jazzed to see Black Adam and Shazam and whatever the hell else is next. But I just don't necessarily feel that way. Maybe it's because Marvel has brainwashed us to really think that here's a plan, here's our plan, this is what you're going to get, and we'll give it to you,
Yeah,
regardless of quality. Whether you think Thor: Love and Thunder wasn't great, or that Multiverse of Madness wasn't great. They're still like, here's this. You don't like this? Okay, we have another thing coming in a couple weeks or in a couple months. You know,
And let's
so
be honest,
it's
they pay things off. Like look at Endgame, look at Infinity War. How many people talked about how bad Dark World was, and then they brought it back, and people go, you know what?
yeah,
It's not that bad, but they paid it
right.
off. So you're gonna get the same payoff with Love and Thunder. You're gonna get the same payoff with Miss Marvel. And yes, Rodney, I will respect African American Adam, which is kind of ironic because Dwayne Johnson is part African American. So
Damn
yes,
right.
you're actually right. Um, so so yeah, so I mean, I know we're here to talk about the trailer and everything like that, but
Mhm.
Comic Con was a big thing. Comic Con has always been a big thing, um, and I'm, speaking of things I'm excited about, the fact that they announced X-Men '97. I'm a kid that
Yeah.
grew up at that time. I watched that
Mhm.
live, so I am super excited. I was talking to Andres Galagos today on Twitter about it and how they're going to further that story. How much
Yeah.
now you have from when this show was in 1996 to 2022, how much material you have to open it up, because they had crossovers in that show. They had storyline. How much they can use now and how much media they have to just create so many stories with that version of X-Men. And so I'm excited to see what they do with it. I am like super excited to see what they do with it. Um,
Just seeing the little
you know,
character, the little like snapshots of the characters that of the X Men lineup, the villains, and seeing Magneto leading the X Men, and I mean, I didn't really think about it too. You just said it right now, but when Disney acquired the X Men, we weren't expecting a return to the old X Men cartoon. Like
yeah,
when it
oh for
popped up
sure.
on Disney Plus, oh hey, like X Men, the '90s cartoons on Disney Plus. That's rad. That's awesome. Because that intro kicks ass, and everyone loves those versions of those characters as they should because they're great. But if you would have said when Disney acquired X Men, oh yo, Disney's gonna do a continuation of that series and bring back the same voice cast and add new characters and new X-Men that weren't in the original series. You would, and everyone would be like, "Oh no, shut up! Like you're doing too much. Like that's not gonna happen." But now that's the case, Like, and maybe does that open the door because Marvel's rights with Spider-Man are a little weird? Does that open the doors to the '90s Spider-Man coming back into the X-Men show, at least for a
Can
little
we
guest
can we
appearance?
can we finish that damn show? Because they left us on a cliffhanger.
Right?
When Madam
Yeah.
Web
Finish
takes
the
off with them,
show.
we're gonna go
Mhm.
find Mary Jane, and we never finished that, and that
He
irks me
went
to
into
this
the
day.
He went into the Spider Verse. Maybe we see him next year in the
Maybe
Spider Verse movie. Maybe.
that
Who
that
knows?
would be amazing. That's another movie that's supposed to be coming out that I know you're super excited about. That has a lot of
Oh yeah,
diversity that we're both excited about. But
yeah.
let's get into kind of why we're here to talk about this trailer that was dropped. That I know Brodney had actually that day, Friday before that weekend. Me and him were texting each other, and he was telling me, he goes, "I am so excited if they drop Black Panther: Wakanda Forever." I said, "I don't
Mhm.
know. Maybe I heard they're not going to drop really anything. Marvel's not going to drop anything," and then they drop it.
Right.
Um,
Hmm.
Obviously, it's going to be a little bit of a touchy subject, with a couple things that come about this trailer. So please, if you're having discourse in the comments in the chat, be respectful. I understand. I'm one of those people that if you want to give your opinion, you should be allowed to. But please be respectful to others if you're having a conversation about it. But let's get into it. Obviously,
So,
the trailer opens up very very sad. We know real life is part of this, that the late Chadwick Boseman passed away,
mhm.
um, and so obviously he can't continue as the character. A big point of discussion around this movie, as it was being done, was, do you recast him? What do you do with him? Thinking about this, to be honest, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, in the movies, Robbie Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Chris Hemsworth, um, I'm blanking on who plays Hawkeye, but Jeremy
Uh,
Renner,
yeah, Jeremy Renner.
and Mark Ruffalo. Um, those people have really had, like, they're cemented as legends. Chadwick Boseman is a cemented legend, so it would be hard to see anybody but him playing T'Challa. Um, I don't know where I sit with should you replace him, should you not? Because I don't know what their story is going to be in this movie, because they're talking a lot about Shuri possibly becoming uh the new Black Panther. There's possibility that Killmonger might become the Black Panther. There's so many theories out there.
Right.
But you could feel within this trailer what they were doing and how they um, really respected, showed love, and ultimately retired Chadwick Boseman's number, like in sports. Like nobody's gonna be that character. I mean, maybe down the line, but you respect him so much, and how he did that character, his take on the character, and it became his own. And so I personally don't feel like they should recast him, but just continue the story and obviously give the mantle of the Black Panther to somebody else. That way you can continue the story if you want him in future movies. But the trailer though, really impactful of showing uh the loss, and like people are saying in the chat, a lot of people cried. A lot of people were very moved and emotional about it. Obviously, for you, how did you feel with the beginning of the trailer and how it was coming off?
So even before all that, right, to address what you were saying about the future of Black Panther, right? Um, August 28th, 2020, I believe it's what it was, because it was the day before my birthday that Chadwick Boseman passed away. And I remember exactly where I was and what I was doing because it came out of nowhere. And like how all of us, we had no idea. None of us knew, at least publicly. The Bosemans chose not to say anything about it until his passing. And of course, once we all, mourned and we grieved together because Black Panther, whether you liked the movie or not, whether you thought the movie was great or not, we cannot deny the impact that the movie made. Like, it's one of the highest grossing domestic box office movies ever. And it's solely because of, yeah, we've had black leads in superhero movies before, but Black Panther was different. How they marketed Black Panther was a little bit different. And Marvel knew what they were doing with this. The majority black cast, black director, screenwriters, and Black Panther was set up to be this great character and this lead character in the MCU post Avengers Endgame and Infinity War. And it is so it's a bummer that we won't get T'Challa again. And I know the first thing that Kevin Feige said once they had their public addressing of Chadwick's death, that they said that, I think it was at the Disney investors presentation. He said, "We're not going to recast Chadwick Boseman. He is our T'Challa. We will not be recasting this role." Immediately, I said, "Okay, that's perfectly fine to me," because if we were like in any other position like that, I stand by that decision to do that. It's not the end of the world that we're losing T'Challa. There's still other ways, story wise, you can make this work. And the trailer gave us an inkling of that. It told us straight up that T'Challa passed away. It seems like there's a funeral through the streets of Wakanda because they lost their king. And now his mother has stepped back into a leadership role, and we have to see what the future of the Black Panther mantle will be. I am not looking forward. I don't want to say I'm not looking forward to seeing him or seeing how this movie's going to pan out, because I'm very much looking forward to this film now. But it's gonna suck. The movie's gonna open with his funeral, or they're gonna, I don't know if they're gonna kill the character off. They're not, they haven't been very explicit into how they're gonna write T'Challa out of the story. but
Yeah.
it's going to be so weird, and I'm not ready for it, and I don't think the world's ready for it. No one's ready for that. How that's going to pan out.
Yeah, for sure. And that's how are they going to go about it? Obviously, in the trailer, and I'll bring it up. You see this image, which is absolutely not only is it beautiful, but it's really like it's really impactful because this is he's really that's that's him,
Right.
playing a character, but it's also him, the person. So it's a real impactful imagery that they use, and so we the rumor from what I've heard, things like that, is they're going to tie it into the story of Namor, and we'll get into him a little bit more.
Mm.
Where and there's so much story where they can go with this, and the rumors about what's going to happen and who they might introduce. And if it's that person, we're going to lose our shit. But
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah.
yeah, we'll talk about that. But they're tying it to that T'Challa tries to save Wakanda from Namor and
Mm-hmm.
loses his life.
Now, let's address that right now, right
Sure.
here. Why? I really, really hope that Namor is not the one to kill T'Challa. And maybe it's because the Namor character gets me excited for the future of the MCU.
Mm.
But can he not, please? Because I that night of the Comic-Con and the trailer dropped, I heard multiple people say, like, "Oh yeah, like T'Challa is gonna like Namor's gonna take T'Challa's life." It's like, nope, I don't want that. And
Yeah.
I get unless Namor is we're gonna just treat him as a villain. There's no way from the fan perspective you can redeem Namor if he's the
Oh,
one to take
absolutely
T'Challa's
no.
life. There's no way you can do it. And I want to address this question that Taylor has in the chat. If it takes place during the blip or if T'Challa passed permanently, my guess is that he passed, and this is post blip. Because he popped up in an Endgame, so like he had to be there. It'd be weird if they treated it like a funeral. Plus, like, um, I want to say the other characters got confirmed to be Blip too during the snap.
Yeah.
That it wasn't just T'Challa, at least out of the folks from Wakanda. So I think it's just post Blip, unfortunately, and it'll be very, very hard to redeem Namor if he's the one to kill T'Challa. I don't think that's what you want, and I don't think that's what Kevin Feige's gonna do. That'd be
What would you?
very not fun.
Well, obviously the character I'm talking about is Doctor Doom, supposedly.
Now we're talking, baby.
Yeah. What would you say if in the beginning of the movie we actually don't see Chadwick because obviously he's passed, but we see Black Panther in the suit and dialogue from Black Panther, into where Namor and him fight. He's about to kill Black Panther, but then Black Panther talks him out of it. But then Black Panther's killed by someone else, aka Doctor Doom, because we do see because there is a storyline in the comics where Doctor Doom uses soldiers, and in this trailer we saw soldiers. So, but Doctor Doom kills him, and Namor wasn't trying to kill him. Namor was just trying to
Right,
protect his people,
right.
and now because Black Panther becomes a tragic, a casualty, and then we have a kind of a story where Shuri, Okoye, I'm blinking on the other lady's name. I apologize.
On
Shuri
you're talking
Okoye.
about yeah, Shuri Okoye. Are you talking about
Okoye.
Angela Bassett's character?
No. The one that dated was dating T'Challa.
Oh, Nakia.
Nakia. And they are going after Namor to get revenge, but then they find out it wasn't really him. He was actually just and that you could do that whole story thing. But what would you think of that? Like if that were to
Because
happen.
the Atlanteans are going to fight the Wakandans. I think that's something that we know for sure. That's the
Yes.
vibe the trailer gives us, right?
Yeah,
They may
and from
not
this,
be
and from the screenshots, I'll pull this up.
right.
Go ahead and continue talking.
They may not
Um,
be. That may not be the. I don't think Namor is the main antagonist of this. They're gonna
yeah,
frame him to be, at least the trailers. I think so, but I don't think he will be. I again, and Taylor mentions it. Taylor Cleek in the chat. What's going on, Taylor? I miss you, boo. Might be tough to redeem Namor if he kills T'Challa, and that's a character you want to use as a hero later. It'd be unless you want to antagonize Namor off the jump. I don't see them making him a villain. I really don't think so. And there's another like intimidating force in the trailer. I'm not too familiar with the Namor lore. I see we're getting more blue people,
yeah.
more blue Atlanteans, and Taylor Cleek again in the chat saying how pissed is James Cameron that they made it the Atlanteans blue, and this comes out before Avatar 2. You know, it's a month. I think.
Someone got someone got the phone call. Yeah, I think you're talking about this. Can't really see my mouse, but the lantern to you, the left, with the big hairdress.
Right.
That Chris is
Big
talking
dude.
about. That big dude. Supposedly he might be a big part of the antagonist not being Namor.
Right. Right. They're gonna frame like Namor may be framed for T'Challa's death, and maybe that's what ignites the battle. But damn it. I don't know how to perceive this. The one big question that I guarantee everyone, it's the talk of the town on social media. I've seen
Yes.
videos on TikTok, I've seen tweets, I've seen Facebook posts. Suge, I want to ask you now, who's Black Panther? At the end of the
Yeah.
film, who is Black Panther? Because we saw a screenshot. And I don't know
Yeah,
if you have
I
it
have
here.
it. Yes, I do. I do
The
have
last
it.
shot, because that's Namor in the back, right? Presumably, that's Namor back there.
Yeah.
That this Black Panther's fighting. Who is that? Who is that?
I mean, we can always say like body structure and everything like that. And obviously body structure, they can obviously change it and things like that, but it does look like a female body. Um,
Sure.
but again, I don't
Who is
know.
that, Shug? Is that
I
Shuri? Is
don't
that
know.
Nakia? Is that Michael B. Jordan? Did you bring back Eric Killmonger from the grave? Is that
I mean, I would love for it to be Eric Killmonger, to be honest with you. I think that would be amazing. But how do you bring him back? Like
people already having
how
their
do you?
theories about
Yeah,
bringing back Killmonger. And Halo Masa Chief in the chat. There you go. What's up, Halo? Apparently it's not Atlantis, is Talcon, Talcon, and Namor's the king of that per Toy League. Hopefully that's true. We'll see. And Halo thinks it's Shuri. That's the popular. That's
yeah,
what we all thought. Now, at least that's how it was framed to be. Once we figured out we were getting a second Black Panther movie without T'Challa in it, that Shuri would be the one to take up the mantle. I don't think so. I think they're misleading us because they
yeah.
want us to think it's Shuri. I don't think it is. I
Kind
could
of
be
going back
wrong.
to Hollow Maso Chief's point. Yeah, so from what my understanding is, these are Atlanteans. These are actually they're Atlanteans, and the difference between them and Namor, because Namor is half Atlantean, half human, is he's able to survive out of water. You can obviously see they have to have some kind of breathing apparatus to breathe out of the water. He does not need that, and then also too, the big thing that was introduced in Miss Marvel, which if you're a comic book fan, is Namor is possibly the first mutant ever. Is this shot of him being born and the wings on his foot?
Yep.
That is a comic book thing of Namor having the wings on his feet. And what made him different from other Atlanteans was, like I said, he was able to breathe out of water. He was half human, half Atlantean. So I haven't read those comics in a long time, especially with Namor. So Hollow Master Chief, if you know this, if uh does I know he's not the king of Atlantia right away, but then he takes over. And yes, one of the things that's going around is Tell Colin. I am butchering that. I apologize. A lot of people see the imagery and just automatically think Aztec, Mayan. Um, we
Right,
do need to
right.
be respectful. There are other indigenous uh, tribes that were in Mexico, many that were wiped out because of
Presumably Mexico
pres-
or
yeah,
South
presumably in
American.
Mexico,
Right.
South America, in that region. There's tons of indigenous that we don't know about because they were wiped out so long ago. So a
Yeah,
lot of
Namor might
people are
not be
just
any of those things.
yeah, but they're automatically a lot of people are shooting to that saying he's automatically Aztec and Mayan, which not may not be the case. So be kind of
Right, right.
respectful. We don't know yet. Once we find out, and like Hollow said, there's been tour leaks, so that is something to keep in mind. That yes, he may be indigenous. We just don't know which indigenous he is.
Right,
Also,
right.
talking about region, but there's a lot of people that are very happy about this because they're getting the representation that they wanted. I know American Chavez wasn't everybody's cup of tea, especially in the comic book. She was actually Puerto Rican, and in the movie they kind of changed her. So I know a lot of people were upset at that, but she was still Latino. So let's not
Sure,
forget
yeah.
those. Let's not forget those people. We did have
There's a lot of
Latino
color in the MCU
superheroes.
now.
Absolutely,
For better or for worse. And I'll be the first one to mention that I may or may not have jumped the gun on immediately putting a label on Namor. And before I talk about that for a second, shout out to Reefism in the chat. I see you. And Ultimate Alliance actually talked about Namor a decent amount. Reefism, you're not the first person to mention that to me, and maybe I got to revisit those games. It's been a minute, but I jumped the gun because I believe his name is Tenor Cuerta.
yeah.
He is the actor playing Namor, and I did a little quick Google search, and Google told me he was Mexican. So my first thought was that Marvel casted this actor, and since he's Mexican, looking at the indigenous folks that were in Mexico or that took up the land that is now Mexico. And I may or may not have jumped the gun saying he was Aztec or Mayan or anything like that. But like you just cast a Mexican actor, or at least from what the internet's told me, a Mexican actor. Like it's gonna make me lean a certain way. But again, we won't know until the movie tells us explicitly, and they will. Like
Yeah.
that shot that Suge pulled up of baby Namor with the wings on the foot. We're gonna see that. We're gonna see Namor's debut, and we're gonna see his origin story, where he comes from exactly, and if the character is a mutant, because the M word now exists. Spoiler alert for those who haven't seen the other Marvel materials: the M word is a thing now, and that's something we have to look around for. And I wouldn't be surprised if Namor is also attached to that, in some way, shape, or form. But
This is just a beautiful
it's
shot.
gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool as
Yeah.
hell. And seeing Teno Cuerta on stage at Hall H, I'm like, okay, cool. Like I love me some good representation, and that's another reason why I don't want Namor to kill T'Challa. Because come on, man, why do we gotta have all the minority brothers fighting each other? Let's not
Right,
let's
right.
not do that.
We already got him of brown on black crime. Let's stop doing that. But this shot is just so
Right.
beautiful. Like, and to
It's
see
gorgeous.
the wings, yeah, it's so dope.
All the underwater
Also,
stuff.
yeah, also the this shot,
Yeah, him coming out the
uh,
water. That looks so rad. See, because I saw the leaks, the leaked promo images, like the merchandise and stuff. People were sending that stuff to me, and I didn't believe it at first. And then the more I saw, I'm like, all right, I don't know how I feel about the nose ring yet. Just from my personal bias on nose rings, yeah, like or the nose piercing. But at this point, I don't give a shit. He looks awesome, and I hope he does some pretty cool stuff within the movie itself. Like it's gonna be these two opposing like secret, because Wakanda for the longest time was in secret before they outed themselves at the end of the first movie. So
yeah,
it's these two nations that are hidden from the rest of the world. Wakanda, is now out, and Talcon or Talcon, however it's pronounced, presumably they're going to make their presence known within the MCU and within the rest of the world, and how that works and how that'll operate. But just I don't want to see Namor kill T'Challa, and I don't want to see bad guy Namor. I know Namor has been very antagonistic in the comics. He's been an anti-hero, villain at some points for certain people. But I like good guy Namor. He can be bad guy for majority of this movie. Just don't make him the bad guy. You know what I mean? Don't do that. He can be a
Yeah.
little antagonist, but let's flesh out the character. He can be a big deal going forward.
Oh, absolutely. And if they stick to a comic book, or even obviously take parts of it, like we said, Halo.
Atlantean. Boom. At least in Ultimate Alliance. Ultimate Alliance said he was Atlantean.
And
we'll
like
see.
Halo said, the M word. Okay, we gotta be careful with the M word.
Don't sleep on the M word. That's not
absolutely.
It's gonna be a big deal now because Miss Marvel, again, spoiler alert for those who haven't seen all the other Marvel stuff between Endgame and this, but like the M word is now a thing, and we got to look out for it. And if they start changing certain things, certain characters for the sake of the M word, like Kamala Khan, I'll be okay with that as long as it doesn't change the drastic parts of the character. I know Miss Marvel, her being Inhuman was a pretty big deal in the Marvel comics, but the creators came out recently and said that they wanted her to be mutant in the first place. So you could still, like, they changed a lot of stuff, but the core parts of Kamala are still there. What makes Kamala Kamala? Just because she was Inhuman doesn't make her Kamala Khan. But like just throwing the M word in it with Namor or with Kamala, I don't mind it. I don't hate it.
Yeah, and like Andrew says here, it speaks to your point. And thank you again, Andrew, for hanging out with us. It says Namor is the first anti-hero, but starting him the anti with killing arguably the most loved figure in the MCU would be dumb. Absolutely. 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 If he killed Black Panther, you're muted, Christopher.
That's 100% my problem. Like you can't call him an anti-hero or whatever and then have him kill T'Challa. I don't believe that for a second. I don't like it.
Yeah,
not a fan.
And all of you are preaching to the choir. As you can see, Chris, he's actually half black, half Mexican. He speaks better Spanish than I do, as you can tell. And I'm half Mexican, half Puerto Rican, which Miles Morales is half black, half Puerto Rican, very tied to his mother, who's Puerto Rican. So we absolutely want to see Miles Morales, especially 100%. Done correctly. Especially done correctly. That is a big for me. I've gotten in this argument. And Mr. J, he's like, the M word. No, not marriage, Mr. J. Not marriage.
Mutation, mutant, whatever you want to call it, the M word, mutant, mutation. Yes. That it was it's gonna be a big deal now. And the M word's not multiverse. That was the M word before it was multiverse. And then they said the M word a ton in the damn Doctor Strange movie. It's the title of the fucking movie. But now mutation is that key. And while we are in the multiverse saga, as we now got that official confirmation at San Diego Comic-Con, what's the future of that, of the mutation, the M word? They wouldn't just say that and have the little 90s X-Men guitar riff in it if that didn't mean something, you know? They're not just going to add that for the sake of adding it. So I actually, about speaking of Miles Morales, right? Like the thing with Miles, because like I said, we all love Miles, and I think a lot of people, especially the last few years with Spider-Verse, that really helped Miles's case, and like we all love that movie. There aren't too many people I've even seen that dislike that movie. If you don't like that movie, I would love to have a good conversation with you about it. But seeing Miles in live action, you could just take that character, pop him in live action, and I think it'd be perfect. But having him in the MCU, I pitched on a different show if making Miles a mutant. Now, I don't want people coming at my dome piece. I'm not saying that's how he gets his spider powers. It's not what I mean. But in the comic books and in the video game, for those who have played the Spider-Man Miles Morales video game for PS5, he has this little venom touch that can paralyze some folks. So what if he gets bit by the spider, whatever? Okay, great. But that spider bite, what if it activates the mutant gene inside of him, the X gene, right? And then he gets this little he gets enhanced abilities like how he does in the comic books, because him and Peter do not have the same power set. They're very similar, but Miles has a little extra stuff that makes him different from Peter. So just throw that out there. I don't want to say it's fact. I have nothing to base that on. That's just me overthinking all of this with Miles and the mutant word and figuring it all out. But before we get there, that's where Namor comes in, because what the hell's Namor's deal? And we're going to find that out in November. That movie comes out in November. Like,
that's just a couple,
it's a couple months, and then boom.
That's around the corner real quick. I agree with you. I mean, look, the MCU is yes, it is what we look at on comic books and paper, but live action. But it's not going to be the same as we wanted. It's not. It's just that's just not going to happen. So you got to adjust. You got to pivot. Like obviously with Chadwick Boseman passing, Marvel pivot. They made a pivot, and this is where they're going. Like you said, if they introduce Namor and he is the first mutant or he is a mutant, and you start going down that path, why couldn't Miles Morales be a mutant? He just happened to get bit by a spider that unlocked those powers.
Right.
What is other than what are you really changing? The fact that the spider was radioactive, So
yeah,
it doesn't change a lot. It just fits the story. Now I know people will say, "Well, I don't like that." Okay, but if you want this character in the MCU, you gotta. It's not going to be what accurate comic book step for step of what's in the comic book. And I'm a comic book head. I love sticking to the comics, but at the same time, this is a different style. This is a different version of that character. Therefore, why not let it happen?
Right.
And so I 100% agree with you, and that would be dope because I said when No Way Out, Spider-Man came out, No Way Home. I said the big reveals we were going to get a Miles Morales reveal. We kind of did. We didn't, but we did.
It was alluded to. Yeah,
it was alluded to.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? What if that's your next big thing? Because we do know that Marvel has Spider-Man for what? One more movie, 2 more movies, if I'm correct.
It's really weird. It's weird. I think what we know for sure is that Marvel.
I don't even think they have them.
I want to say, I mean, no one knows for sure besides Sony and Marvel, and Tom Holland maybe. But I think as of right now, they're still trying to lock him down for more solo movies. But from what the internet's told me recently, he might have one more team up movie, not really a movie himself. So who knows what that means? But until Sony announces more Spider-Man, I don't know when to expect him next. I have no idea. And I will be very bummed if we get from now to Secret Wars in a couple years and we don't have Spider-Man around, especially knowing Spider-Man's role in the original Secret Wars. Like, I'd be very bummed out.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think Marvel and Sony are going to look at each other and say, like, we're about to make billions of dollars. Let's just do this.
Yeah, like just put him in the freaking movie. It's getting Tom to sign on, apparently.
There is a comic where he is a variant of Wolverine. That could fit like the Wolverine style canon where Pacific extreme stress or a fatal event could trigger the mutant gene. Yeah, that could help.
Yeah.
Still want to see Wolverine make his MCU debut against the Hulk.
One day.
Maybe. It is totally a neckbeard comic nerd thing to over fixate on the origin. Spider-Man's mutation original or power original was always the least important part of his character. Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. You just want to get him in to this universe so that way they can use him and put him in storyline and really go from there, which I think would be awesome. I am a huge Wolverine fan. I would have loved to see him in the MCU. I am a big X-Men fan. Spider-Man are my go-tos. But it also too, like, this is MCU is that opened you up to other characters to like, not just the ones we really know. And they're pushing out, not really pushing out, but they're redoing characters that we love. Captain America is now Sam Wilson.
Yep.
Hawkeye is
Kate
Katie,
Bishop.
I believe her name. Kate
Kate
Bishop.
Bishop.
I don't know why I want to say Katie. Kate
Right.
Bishop. There's Miss Marvel, Kamala. There's going to be Ironheart because Robert Downey Jr. is no longer. So there's going to be that.
And she's
Obviously,
also in the trailer, and she looks so rad. I can't
Yeah.
wait. I can't wait.
Yeah. You just want these characters to be added to the MCU so that way we can see them. And one of the things that's bothersome about the MCU fans is we're so spoiled. Like, you gotta remember, I know I'm older than you, Chris, and I'm older than a lot of the fans, but I remember Blade. I remember Spawn. That was our comic books. Okay, 1989 Batman. Those were our comic book movies, and we're like, it's never gonna get better than this. Blade 2, people were like, it's never gonna get better than Blade 2.
Blade
Like, this
rules,
is it,
dude. Mm-hmm.
No, Blade was awesome, but we never thought we would get there, and we're getting Blade in the MCU.
Yeah, we're getting more. Mm-hmm.
We need to stop this whole like everything. If we're not getting our way, it's unfair. We don't like it. Like
right.
Like I said in the beginning of this, you look at what everyone was saying about like Miss Marvel, Thor, Love and Thunder. Everyone's like, oh my god, what is this? I don't like Phase 4. And now you're seeing the direction. Like, all right, this is where we're going to. You saw the reveal, Avengers Kang Dynasty. You saw Secret Wars, and now everyone's like, oh, I get it. Yeah, gotta give it a second. Stop doing this whole thing where we get news and you want to get, stop. You could theorize. Yeah. It's great. Theorize. Talk about it. Mm-hmm. But don't get all over emotional upset and think, oh my God, they don't know what they're doing. And then they show you this stuff and you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. I think now what is bothersome to me, because you and me did the whole Loki review. We did the Loki review together and all this stuff.
Yeah,
I don't think Kang's the big baddie. I said that. I told people that, and I got people that talk crap to me. I said, I don't think Kang's the dude. I think Kang is one of those Loki / Baron Zemo.
I think I remember you saying
maybe a little higher. Maybe
he got a movie named after him, dog. You sure?
Ultron. Hey, Ultron had a movie named after him.
So you're right.
Okay, but it was about Thanos. Right. I really believe it's Doctor Doom. I think we're going there because Doctor Doom was part of Secret Wars, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But I think Kang is not that important. I said that, and I got ripped apart. I mean, he's important, but he's not.
He still might get ripped apart, dog, until that movie comes out.
Yeah, but he's not Thanos level. Like how Ultron was Thanos. Ultron was not Thanos level. Ultron was like, he was above Baron Zemo. He was above all those guys, but he wasn't Loki Ultron or Loki Thanos. I think it's Doctor Doom. And first off, Mr. Jerry, I'm not gonna let you disrespect Spawn. Spawn was amazing.
We can't act like that movie was good, dog.
and it had representation with
John Leguizamo and Michael
John Leguizamo. Okay, yes, as the clown. Okay, there was representation in that movie.
But he wasn't good. The character was.
It was a great movie. Come on, it was a great.
Now
movie.
The TV show Spawn is better in animation, and everybody knows that.
Nobody was allowed to watch the TV show because that thing was not made for kids at that time.
It was on like HBO or something.
It was on HBO.
You got to get the premium channels to watch Spawn. But the movie's not good, and not everyone's coming in the chat. Hey, Spawn's not good. Y'all are right.
You're right. They're all coming from me. I like bad movies. Hey, I'm the guy that likes Street Fighters, the Van Damme version.
Hey, man, I'm the king of loving bad movies. I feel you. It's okay. You like what you like, but
I think Doctor
Panther. Okay.
I do think Doctor Doom's gonna get introduced to Black Panther, but it's gonna be how Thanos was, where Thanos got introduced.
Yep.
But then it's gonna carry. Like we're gonna carry along and he might get really introduced in the Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah, that's November 24. Yeah. So
you can build up. You can build up because Secret Wars is 2025, right?
Yes. Yeah, November 25.
So and if Fantastic Four comes out before there, you get an origin story of Doctor Doom within the Fantastic Four. And then boom, Secret Wars. There you go. It
Here,
sets up
can
perfectly.
I pitch you what I think, how I think Doctor Doom can be introduced in Black Panther?
Absolutely.
Am I gonna double down on this take? No. Do I think Doctor Doom's the Black Panther? Probably not. But here, let me pitch you this. So, movie happens the way it happens. I think we get no Doom reference in the first 2 hours, right? Like Namor or whoever the big bad is, and whoever Black Panther is going to fight each other. Wakanda wins. Yay! Namor's our friend now. Yay! It's going to be so happy and so great. And then, right before the movie ends, either post-credit scene or right when the movie is about to end, we get a little bit of an inkling. Because I think, oh, I didn't mention this earlier. I think Nakia is Black Panther. I I think they're gonna make us think because Lupita Nyong'o is the first character we see in the trailer. Just to put that out there. So I think Shuri's gonna be like propped up to be, and then Nakia is gonna end up being Black Panther. That's my guess. I could be totally wrong, and if I am, okay, cool. As long as the movie's good, that's all I care about. But I think at the end of the film, whoever's leading Wakanda at that point, there's gonna be like a Queen. There's someone here to visit you from. There's another leader here from a different country, and she's whoever she is gonna say, where are they from? Whose leader is this? And they're gonna say Latveria. Boom! Cut the credits. Cut the black. Bang. Either it's gonna be Latveria, no Doom, no Victor Von Doom. It's gonna be Latveria that's mentioned by name. That's my guess. And I think I've been saying this for a while now since the snap happened in Infinity War. I think Latveria will become, or Sokovia, what was Sokovia, will become Latveria. Like I think that's my guess. If it was up to me, I could be totally wrong. I could be 100% wrong. I might be. I'm not good at predicting stuff in the MCU. They usually tell me what I think. They tell me what's good, and I just rock with it. But I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be a Latveria mention, and that's it. And that's gonna be the boom, the big like name drop, because we haven't
And then
gotten Latveria or anything like that.
yeah, and then we don't see nothing about him for like 2 or 3 movies. Like Ant-Man Quantum Realm has
We get
nothing to do with
nothing.
him.
Yeah, nothing to do with Doom.
Yeah, yeah, that would you
We
know
might
what though?
hear.
If that happened, that would be dope. I have said the way you're going to introduce Fantastic Four, because the problem is where's the Fantastic Four been through all this? Like where the hell are they?
Right.
So
Right.
you do
And
kind of a
we got the one line in Doctor Strange from Stephen Strange. He said
yeah.
to Reed Richards, at least Earth 838's Reed Richards, he said, "Didn't you chart in the 60s?" So they went on their mission in the 1960s in the MCU. It's been 60 years, over 60 years in
And here's
universe that the
yeah,
Fantastic Four have been gone.
and this is how you solve that problem. And I said this: they go to do their mission, and it's almost like a quantum realm
Let me
thing.
hear it. I'm
It's almost
listening.
it's almost like the quantum realm thing with Ant-Man. They get stuck in stasis, and they got their powers, but they're
In the
stuck.
negative zone. In
And
the
then
negative
and they get
zone.
released, and something releases them, and they come back, and their power now they have power. Now you can be like, okay, now they're in our time now, and they say,
Yep.
and you know he comes back, he gets the Baxter ability, or he buys the original Avengers
Avengers
Tower,
Tower. Yeah,
you know, and
maybe.
things like that, you know, and that's how you introduce them, because you, like you said, where they've been for 60 years.
Where they been?
So that solves
And
that problem.
our Strange said that. So
Yeah.
in 616 MCU, everything we've been watching in universe, the Fantastic Four, or at least Reed Richards, presumably Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben, they all charted in the 60s. Where the hell have they been? Even if they showed up around the time of Spider-Man Homecoming, when the Avengers Tower was getting bought out, who, like, even if they showed up then, what were they doing? What made them not be present for the events of everything Thanos caused? So part of me thinks they don't get spit out until post snap. Part of me wants them to miss all of that. Don't even try
Yeah,
to
it would make
explain
sense.
where they were at. They just missed it. And they come back and the world's different. The Avengers are a thing. Atlantis is here. What the hell's Wakanda? Like they're fish out of water. And you can further emphasize like the whole Fantastic Four, they're going to be treated differently because they look different and they've been away from the main world forever, you know. So I'm very intrigued on how they're going to show up. But Victor Von Doom, if the Fantastic Four are how we say they are, maybe Victor doesn't necessarily know who. Yeah, like you don't have the ties to Reed Richards, or
he set them up, or he set them up.
Yeah, or maybe.
But then, like, what has he been doing for the last 60 years?
And Victor's going to be like 80 years old. Like, I don't want that to be a thing unless he somehow preserved himself. I don't want to get too deep in this, but but either way, like, I like what you were saying a little bit ago about changing things for the sake of the MCU, right? If folks still aren't aware that Kevin Feige takes what he wants from the books and molds them to his universe, if y'all aren't aware that he's been doing that since the beginning, y'all are going to hate what's coming next because he's not going to stop, you know? For a couple of examples, right? Age of Ultron in the comic books is a completely different storyline than the one we got in the movie, right? He just took the name and Ultron. That's it. He took Ultron and he took the name.
It was a day.
Like Age of Ultron was a couple of days. In reality, it was like Ultron took over the world, you know, like that's because that's what we all thought. Remember, like when we first saw the first teaser trailer, one of the best trailers I've ever seen, the one where it had like the I had strings, the whole I like that trailer rules, and we're all like, oh my god, Ultron's gonna tear shit up. Nope, he cracks jokes and he's funny. Like that's the Ultron that we got, right? And then Civil War, same thing. It was like, I mean, they tweaked it a little bit. It's kind of the same as the book, kind of, but it's still not. It had universe all these bigger ramifications, when in reality, the events of Civil War only lasted about a year, if that, and the guys got back together for the next big movie. That's really what. And same thing. And Secret Wars, don't be shocked if Secret Wars doesn't play out the way it played out both times in the comics. Don't be shocked. And I'm not expecting the 80s Civil War with Black Suit Spider-Man or the new Civil War with God Doom or the new Secret Wars with God Doom. I'm not expecting either one of those, and neither should you. But if we get it, it's going to be really damn cool. Like, but
for sure.
Don't hold your breath, y'all. Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, don't give your hopes up. And I think that's the problem with a lot of what I see is a lot of people are giving their hopes up. They're trying to put their spin on it and then get upset because it didn't plan out the way they wanted it. And it's right. Like, you unless you're in charge of Disney, it's not going to go the way you want it to go. So just you know, and if you don't like it, that's fine.
If it was up to us, like Spider-Man would be in every movie, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Like, Wolverine and Hulk would have already fought.
The X-Men would have been in this.
Silver Surfer would have been. Let me tell you something. Ghost Rider would have been in this. All right, Ghost Rider versus Thanos would have been a thing. Okay, I love Ghost Rider. So
Johnny Blaze fighting.
Johnny Blaze, the other one, I don't care. The car one, I don't care.
Yeah, give me. It was. Don't tell me. I know what it is. Because it was Gabriel Luna and this Robbie Reyes. So if it was Robbie Reyes, again another Latino in the MCU, hopefully. Fingers crossed, but if it's Johnny Blaze, I'll happily take Johnny Blaze. Just give me Ghost Rider.
It's Nicolas Cage shows up. You're like, oh.
I mean, everything's canon now. The multiverse, anything's possible.
Everything's canon.
So, like, if Nicolas Cage pops up, I will be the happiest boy on the planet. I swear to God.
The Black Panther has Shirley Gonzalez on. Look at the arm. Okay, let's look at it real quick.
I mean, well. Because there's another shot in the trailer where Shuri has like the little Panther thing on the arm. I mean, Marvel's also the king of misdirection for us.
Yes, let's not forget when Captain America was holding Thanos' hand, or when they all were running toward the camera. We're like, we're gonna get this shot, and that is the biggest swerve ever in these damn trailers.
They edited Spider-Man out of the first Civil War trailer.
The Civil War trailer, So they swerved that. Obviously, the No Way Home trailer where Tom Holland jumps.
They edited
but they messed up. But they messed up on that one because they showed Lizard getting kicked, and everyone knew. You're like, there's no way.
Yeah,
there's no way. There's not someone kicking a one. So
And that was like the Brazil version of the trailer.
Yeah.
So it was just that one. They messed up.
I love
one
thing, but I love the TikToks that came after that when they had the guy from The Incredibles saying, "See that? Not a coincidence." It was hilarious. Reef saying that is interesting because Fantastic Four are connected to Black Panther, Namor, and Doctor Doom.
Yep.
Very much.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Very much
Facts.
they are. So it would. I mean, what if something happened in this fight where they released a Fantastic Four or something like that? That would be interesting.
Yeah, if somehow Shuri uncovers the negative zone, just putting that out there, just throwing it out there. And Spider-Man's also had ties. He's been in the Fantastic Four before.
Yes, he has. Secret Wars just has to bring back the original Marvel movie hero, Howard the Duck. Absolutely.
I'm gonna watch that right now when I get done with
this. They'll hit the themes and a lot of the players, but it's going to be the story that fits the universe that they created in the MCU. Absolutely, Andrew.
Yeah,
absolutely, and that's fine. Like if you want to go back and read the Secret Wars that you enjoy, we have comic books for that. You could do that. But this is a different version of it. So let's not be so critical of it. That's the problem.
It's not going to directly adapt to the comic.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Not. Yeah.
Cage ruined the movie for me.
Ghost Rider? No.
I get her saying Gosling could be Ghost Rider.
I don't hate that.
If Aaron Rodgers showed up as Ghost Rider,
I hate that. That's what I hate. I know what you're talking about, Jay. But no, please God, no.
Right. But that's the thing though. That's what I talk about when Marvel movies for me was that Ghost Rider movie. Blade.
I love that movie, and no one can tell me otherwise. That movie rules.
Blade, the first one, the second one actually was.
Well, really Blade good. Rules. I'm talking about Ghost Rider. That
Ghost Rider's good. I like Ghost Rider.
There's that one shot where Johnny's on his motorcycle and Sam Elliott is on the horse.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the movie, that rules. No one can tell me otherwise. I love that movie.
I remember when they announced Blade 3 and it was like Ryan Reynolds. I was like, this is gonna be an amazing movie. And it had some good lines in it. It was so bad.
That's the one Triple H is in, right?
Yeah, that's the one Triple H is in with the dog with the Pomeranian that's mouth goes like it's like, oh no, why? Why would you do that? Oh,
I gotta rewatch those. It's been a minute. I know our buddy Allison Salamoni. I think she watched the Blade movies recently. But I gotta watch those. I talk about the Blood Rave all the time because it's one of the best openings to a movie ever.
Oh, absolutely.
The Blood Rave
absolutely
fucks. It's so
and even it's so how was I think that movie came out in what 95?
Was it 98?
98? So I was like 14, 15. Yeah, we can look it up. But how did I get in to watch that movie? Because the opening scene is not only that Blood Rave,
98.
But dude is on the couch just getting taken care of.
Yeah,
you remember? And I was in high school watching that movie like he was. And then the way that Blade just comes in and just absolutely just rips everybody apart. And it was that movie was gory, gory as shit. When did Russell Wilson get into this conversation?
Hey, yo, we need a pump. But if the new Blade, if Mahershala Ali's Blade has any type of Blood Rave in it, it's automatically the best movie ever, by default.
Do you want to see Wesley Snipes in that movie cameo or
not as Blade, but yes.
Would you want to see him as Whisker?
Oh, damn it! I just want to see.
Is it Whisker? Whisker? Is it Whisker or what? Whistler.
Whistler. That's not. Yeah.
Whistler. Whistler.
Whisker.
What the hell's wrong with me?
I don't want to see Wesley Snipes in a big role in this movie. I just want him to cameo just so we are aware of that, just so Marvel can give him his flowers one time. We don't need Wesley Snipes in a big role in this. This little cameo.
Taylor Click making fun of me. Taylor, I wouldn't make it in
the chat.
They're
Whistlers.
Both yeah, there was Whistler.
I knew what you meant, dog.
Yeah.
I know we're here talking about Black Panther, and I promise. Ironheart. Let's talk about Ironheart. Because
Yeah.
Riri Williams, right, is relatively newer to Marvel Comics, and I guess how they're. I don't obviously we don't know how they're gonna approach her in this because again things might change from the comic books, but she's getting her own series after this movie, so
Mhm.
we're getting introduced to Riri here, and then we're gonna get to know her more in her own series. But I love the trend of the new like crop of Avengers are just like fanboys and fangirls of OG Avengers, you know, like Kate Bishop and Hawkeye, Kamala Khan and Carol Danvers. And now we're getting Riri Williams, Ironheart to Tony Stark's Iron Man.
And then
So
you got She-Hulk to Hulk.
yeah, She-Hulk, the cousin of Bruce Banner. Yeah.
And from what the leak from the what they've said about Ant-Man, Ant-Man's daughter.
Oh yeah, Cassie Lang. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
So
it's a
yeah,
bunch of
you're
like
absolutely right. They're kind of taking the you know the fanboy fangirl
it's the
versions
next
of them.
generation of
And
Avengers
yeah.
who loved the OGs and who idolized the OGs.
You think there's any
Uh,
shot they'll do an R-rated Blade, or
no.
will do that for different? I think they're gonna wait for Deadpool. I think it is a big tell that Disney put Deadpool and Logan on Disney Plus. I think that is a big tell. I think the people that were crying about it just need to shut up and put parent controls on. I'm sorry, your 12-year-old shouldn't be
Yeah, just
watching
put the
Deadpool and
code on.
Logan.
Put the
Stop crying
code on your
about it.
Disney Plus, and that's as simple as that.
Um,
With Marvel, with
did have some
Chris
whiskers though.
word,
Thank you.
uh, with Marvel, you know, doing the Marvel Zombies TVMA, that tells us that Marvel Studios is going to have their hand in some mature content, but I do think Deadpool will be the first, maybe rated R, unless they do PG-13 and acknowledge that he's PG-13 because he's with Disney now. So I don't know because how are you going to incorporate him into the MCU as a greater into the greater universe? Because that was one of the leaks I was looking at going into the Comic-Con weekend. One of the big leaks that I heard was, or rumors and leaks I heard, was Deadpool 3, because you dropped Deadpool 1 and 2 and Logan on Disney Plus right before Comic-Con. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we don't get anything on Deadpool 3 for now, besides the fact that we know Sean Levy is directing it. So it's happening, but how are they gonna approach
I think Blade's
everything?
going to be PG-13, and I think your
It'll be
first
a
rated R
hard
movie is going to
PG-13 though. It'll be a
yeah,
hard PG.
and
They're gonna push it.
Deadpool will be your first rated R movie with Disney, but going into other movies, he'll be like censored. Like he'll get irritated. He'll be like, Kevin Feige, why are you censoring me? Like it won't allow him to do stuff, which then makes the gag better. Which
And we're
makes
breaking the
it
fourth
better.
wall with Jennifer Walters. You know, in the She-Hulk trailer, she looked right into the camera and spoke to us a couple times. So Deadpool may not be the only character walking around that will address us directly. You know,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's a
Look
matter
at
of time.
I just want to shout out my homie, Mr. Corey Cameron. Haven't
Corey
seen him in a while.
Cameron, that's my man right there. What's up, Corey? It's been a minute. What's up, dog?
Corey's amazing. Miss hanging out. Taylor Cleek. Let the kids watch it. Starter young. Yeah, that's what my dad said. And look at me now. I think the multiverse of matters is probably an indicator of how Blade would go. Heavy horror
Yep.
influence, but not pushed.
Yep.
Yeah, I 100%
Yep.
agree. Will
Facts.
be PG-13.
I think. Yeah,
But I
I
think
think so
Deadpool's
too.
going to be rated R. Regardless of what they do, I cannot wait to see how Ryan breaks the fourth wall about it in the movies. That's what I'm saying. If you let him have his rated R movie, and then any movies that he's a part of where he tries to do a Deadpool thing and they like block it, like he tries to cuss and they bleep it out, and he can like attack Kevin Feige, like what the hell, and we didn't sign up for this, yada yada yada. It would be amazing. Does Mahershala Ali have a martial art background? The thing that made most times as Blade was that
Um,
the fight scenes. Do you remember? I don't know if Bronny is in here still. Sorry, I'm messing with my arm. But did you hear about the story that Wesley Snipes and Joe Rogan was supposed to fight back, like when I think Blade was coming out back in the
what?
day? Yeah, go look it up. It's a funny story. Rogan talks about it. They were supposed to fight
I don't
in
know
a
if
like a
Mahershala, to
celebrity
answer the
fight.
question, I don't know if Mahershala has a martial arts background, but I mean, we've known he's going to play the character for like 3 years now. So my man's had the time to prep for this. You know, it's the last Comic-Con that Marvel attended was when we found out that Mahershala was going to play Blade. So, and that was what, 2019, 2018, 2019. So it's been a minute. It's been a minute. So I'm not worried about him playing Blade. And plus, Marvel's really good at the choreography.
Mr. Jada 6, they have Blade 1, 2, and Logan on Disney Plus. I was like, what? Yeah. And a lot of people came out, were crying about it. They're like, oh, this shouldn't be on there. You told us wholesome content. Like, these are great movies. Like,
it's like your kids know.
Like Deadpool 2 is good. It's okay. Deadpool 1 obviously started a trend. Logan's a great movie. Logan is just gory. It's just gory.
These kids nowadays, they hear and say worse than what the hell Deadpool's doing. It don't matter.
Yeah. They didn't have to sneak Faces of Death like I used to when I was a kid. Okay? So, you know, they have the internet now. She-Hulk breaking the fourth wall caught me off guard.
Same, dude. Same. I wasn't ready for that. But she's broken the fourth wall before in the books.
Mr. J. Blade better not be PG-13. I think they're gonna make them.
I'm sorry, dog. It's looking like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll be happy to be proven wrong. Anything I've said in the last hour and 12 minutes, if I'm wrong about, good, because that means when I go see the movie, I'll be caught off guard and I'll be surprised, and that's my favorite way to go into movies like this. I don't want to be correct with my predictions.
What is it?
I hope I'm wrong.
NC-17 or?
There's no way Blade's NC-17 because that's like there's no way.
That's a step. That's a step below. Isn't that a step below?
That's above
rated R.
Rated R, yeah.
Oh, really? I thought because it was 17.
NC-17's like Nymphomaniac and shit like that. Like it'll.
Great movie. Watch that movie. Great movie.
Pump the brakes. That's like late time. It's like late night showtime.
Ooh, those late night showtime shows are so good. Reef, I wouldn't mind seeing Midnight Suns.
Midnight Suns would be cool. Midnight Suns would be cool. It's an amalgamation of people.
Okay.
Yeah, let me.
Let's break hot take. Shout out to Jose. Mahershala Ali played D1 basketball. He can handle the position.
Okay.
Good one there.
Midnight Suns, team of supernatural heroes consisting of Doctor Strange, 2 Ghost Riders, Danny Ketch and Johnny Blaze, Morbius, Werewolf by Night, and other just fun characters like that.
Okay. So did you ever see the thing about Blade, the original movie, at the end? We were supposed to get him a tease for Morbius, where he was standing on the building, staring at Blade.
I mean,
it would have been better than this Morbius that we got recently. Tell you that much.
Damn, I would have loved some shit like that.
What they were going to do, and remember, it wasn't Marvel Studios; it was a Marvel property, but they were going to try to do that kind of thing where they were going to bring in Marvel characters to interact, and so we never got that. I think Chris, are you still there, buddy? Chris. Uh-oh. Okay, I'm going to drop him for a second. Wait till he comes back. Just read over some more comics. A guy could at least have a purple belt by now. Very true. Do they not know how racist early Disney was? Wholesome content, my ass. Yeah, exactly. Don't go back and watch Songs of the South or some of the original Mickey Mouse stuff. Yeah, it was pretty bad back in the day.
A lot of old cartoons are doing that. Warner Brothers and the Looney Tunes are doing that shit too. So no one's perfect. No one is perfect.
Good thing you should. We need more penetration.
Whoa. Yeah, because Eternals, that sex scene in Eternals is not enough.
Exactly. I'm looking for more.
That sex scene. It was very,
very. Shue Holliberry trained in martial arts for 2 years prior to shooting her film Bruised. There you go.
Yeah, I'm saying.
In a sense, have a game coming out too. Bronny always up on games.
I think it's a mobile game, ain't it? Or it's like a card game or some shit. I don't think it's what we think it is. At least from what I know about it. I don't know too much about the new Midnight Suns.
Definitely, that's true. We could have been morbid decades ago. Yeah. Hey. Look, it was for its time was dope. Like, and because at that time, remember the '90s Spider-Man was out, and it had Morbius and it had Blade interacting.
Yeah.
So when you
Yep.
thought it was going to happen in the movies, you were like, oh, and it never happened. We
Right.
got
Right.
two wasn't that bad. Three was miserable. And Corey Cameron, I'm sure they add Moon Knight to the Midnight Suns. I mean, just look at the names.
What's the future of Moon Knight? That's the big question, right? Like I thought the show was really good. One of my favorite things of Phase 4 so far. And you get a guy like Oscar Isaac in the MCU. I know he only signed on for a season. I would back up the Brinks trucks to his crib and be like, hey, yo, dude, like, come do this team up flick with us. Come do this team up show with us. And it'll be fucking rad, you know? Like, I think maybe not Midnight Suns, but something like that, you know? Get Moon Knight on the streets of New York, have him interact with Daredevil. Maybe he pops up in Daredevil and the new Daredevil.
Oh, that was another thing too. Wasn't Daredevil in the She-Hulk trailer?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But he's
And
in the
got a new
the
costume.
yellow and red suit. Yeah, he's in the yellow and red
Yeah,
suit.
he got some new digs.
which is iconic. Which is one of the iconic suits.
They washed the Netflix off of him, and they're giving him a new suit right before his show in a couple years. So it's gonna be rad. It's gonna be rad.
Yeah. So I think
fingers
that's
crossed.
hey, people were kind of dogging the She-Hulk series coming out. I'm gonna check that one out.
It looks
check
fun.
that one out.
It's a different tone and a different genre that the MCU hasn't tackled yet. You know, Miss Marvel just did the coming of age story, and really it was like a history drama at one point. We went to British occupied India for a couple episodes, and Moon Knight was very action heavy, a lot of psychological stuff with Mark Spector. Yeah, with Mark Spector, of course, and his DID. But doing the She-Hulk like a sitcom, not sitcom, but like just seeing Jennifer Walters as Hulk or as a Hulk dating, that looks funny as hell. And especially now that we know she's talking to us, it's gonna be cool.
Yeah. Did you see the memes like of people like step on me?
Yeah.
Why are we starting this crap?
We've had Jennifer Walters on screen for 2 minutes in a trailer, and folks are like, "Yo,
Yeah,
like I let
thirsty
her."
as
You
hell.
know, it's like pump
Oh
the
my
brakes, y'all.
God.
Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes.
He thinks that's not more. I think it's gonna be like XCOM. I don't know.
I don't know what XCOM is.
I'm thinking it might be that. No, but that's every Avenger. I don't know. I'm not sure.
XCOM.
Love that they're doing the yellow red. Absolutely. Here's somebody I do want to see in the MCU: Punisher. I would love to see.
Yeah. See, I looked up XCOM and I got a lot of stuff on Elon Musk, so I'm going to close out the tab. But Punisher is somebody who, I mean, I love John Bernthal's interpretation of the character. I really do. The one that we got on Netflix, especially on Daredevil. When he was a Daredevil, it was so rad. The solo show, I was very iffy on, but Punisher, that's a character that's like hard R to properly do. The Punisher, like to do Frank Castle properly, you need to give him free range. But I don't know if Marvel will do that with Frank.
And I just feel like Taylor is that guy that wants Hulk to just to spank him. You know,
yo, Tatiana Maslany, you know, like I cannot wait to see her in the show. She's beautiful and she's very funny in the other little shows I've seen her in. So I'm looking forward to her turn as Jennifer Walters. But she looks super rad, and I like that she can like do stuff better than the Hulk. You know, like she's stronger than him. She's more like, you know, acrobatic than him. I like that, and I can't wait to see her, you know, properly Hulk out when we do see her do that in the show, whenever that is.
Would you let her smack you around a little bit?
I plead the fifth.
I bet they bring Punisher back via Daredevil. I think they'll reintroduce all the Netflix stuff there. Absolutely, yeah, that can happen.
Maybe. I'm in the camp where Jessica Jones is going to pop up in She-Hulk. I think we're going to see Jessica Jones PI in Daredevil. Or not. Well, we might see her Daredevil too, but I think we're going to get Jessica Jones and She-Hulk. It just makes sense to me. It makes sense. A little cameo.
Absolutely. Now, Chris, I say this every time we do a live show, we say, hey, we're only going to go for 45. We're going to go for 35. Might go an hour. We're going into 130 right now. We're going into 130 right now. So I know it's the worst. We are two of the worst.
You asked me if I had a heart out. I said no. So this is what we got.
I know, but I hate keeping you so long because I know you.
You're not keeping me, dog. I'm here by
pure will. You got Schmodown matches to watch and notes to take. Things like
so there's a bunch of stuff that I could be doing some more for Chris's sake right now. I'm a little behind on that. I could have been, but you asked me to come talk about some Black Panther, talk about some Marvel, and I'm gonna say yes every time. All you gotta do is ask.
This is why I appreciate you. Was there anything else at Comic-Con that caught your eye or anything like that?
I mean, besides Marvel, because Marvel, what's a Schmodown? Marvel really took the cake for me. Like Kang Dynasty. Again, we can sit here and talk for another hour on what that means about Kang and all the other Marvel movies and shows. We're getting Thunderbolts and Captain America, New World Order. Like we're gonna,
The Thunderbolts I'm interested to see because who is it gonna be? I want to see Red Hulk, if anything. That's who I want to see.
I mean, with William Hurt's passing,
that's the problem.
It's gonna be, unless they recast Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
Who knows? But the font, I will say this about the font of the logo for Thunderbolts is very Avengers-esque. So that was the one thing I took away from that. It looked like the OG Avengers font, and I'm like, okay. So are they going to treat this like the anti-Avengers, like a Suicide Squad type of deal? Because I'm down for that. I'm totally down for like a Suicide Squad within the MCU of like all these you can bring in like U.S. Agent John Walker and a bunch of other folks like that.
Yeah.
But I'm cool with that.
I really want to see them go into the Dark Avengers storyline, but you can use Thunderbolts as an alternative. Maybe have the Iron Patriot if you do introduce Norman Osborn or somebody else.
Sure. Abomination's still around.
Abomination's still around. Back. Yeah, so I would love to see that. Yeah, you're right. Thunderbolts is pretty. I'm pretty excited about that.
Have the character come back from Black Widow. There's options, and you can introduce new characters too. So Baron Zemo's still around. There are options. We have options.
Yeah, that was it. Mr. J, bro, Bruce has to earn his street cred back after Thanos gave him that one of the worst half whoopings on screen. Do what he
he snapped existence back. That was.
I mean, but he took an ass whooping.
Bruce didn't get his ass whooped. The Hulk got his ass whooped. Let the record show.
That's the same. Aren't they the same person now?
No, I mean now they are, but at the time they weren't, because Hulk didn't want to fight Thanos again. They did bitch him out. They did bitch the Hulk out to Thanos. That wasn't great. But I mean, besides all the Marvel stuff, Avatar: The Last Airbender is getting another go around.
Yes, excited about
the movie. That. A movie about a young adult.
The teenage years, the ones we missed from Korra to
right. Like we're gonna see Aang, Katara, Zuko. We're gonna see all of them, and how they said their young adult years. So whatever that means. But they're gonna be aged up for sure.
Yeah, that's actually pretty dope.
I want to see like Sokka be like a player, within like the Avatar universe, or if he settled down.
I want to see Toph. I was a hugest Toph fan.
Yeah.
Zuko and Toph were my favorite. When Toph learned how to metal bend, I lost it. And Zuko has always been my even when he was a bad guy, I was like, I feel
Zuko was cool.
Where he's coming from. He was trying to prove himself to his pops. Like that. Yeah. That's a person of color shit. You're always trying to prove yourself to your pop. So I felt Zuko. Like I didn't like it. Aang was like whatever. Like you ran out on your people, dog.
I loved Aang, dog.
No, he ran out on his people, man. He ran. Okay.
He was scared. He was 10. He was the Avatar.
Yeah, Zuko was like what, 12, and he stood up to his dad. And he stood up to his dad. Come on, bro.
That's a lot of responsibility for a 10-year-old. Come on, dude.
Man, come on.
Get the fate of the world on your shoulders.
He can fly. He can fly. That's one of the trick. My bad.
What
Did they say anything about
for
Superman meeting
Avatar?
Venom?
Say
No,
anything about
yeah,
Spider-Man
probably.
meeting Venom? No. Sony wasn't there, and I don't think here. So I'll drop this little nugget of knowledge too. So I was watching a bunch of interviews that Kevin Feige did after that, and he mentioned Spider-Man once. He mentioned Spider-Man, and he was talking about street level heroes, and he name dropped Spider-Man amongst a bunch. So Spider-Man's now street level, like how the character was always street level, at least how we always knew him before Marvel took him, and we're gonna take him to space. You know, like we're not gonna do that again, at least not now. Until Secret Wars, maybe Secret Wars, he can go get the black suit and shit. But they Kevin Feige said Spider-Man's name once, and it was after the Comic-Con panel at an interview, like with Deadline or Variety or something. But Sony wasn't there to talk about Venom or Spider-Man directly. Maybe because they don't know, besides Venom 3, which is apparently happening. But Spider-Man's feature in live action, I think, is still up in the air. We don't know for sure. It
Yeah,
could
for
be
sure.
something.
I don't know what they're gonna do with Venom. Carnage was such a disappointment. With that
Yeah, it
fiasco.
wasn't great.
Was, oh my god, like someone gouged my eyes out.
It was boring. My biggest problem with Morbius is that it was boring. Like nothing happened. I didn't care. Oh my god, it was just like overacted or not. It was underacted somehow. Like I don't like it.
And you have Spider-Man material coming out. Like you obviously have Into the Spider-Verse 2 coming out. Like you don't want to oversaturate it. So yeah, they can wait a little bit. I think Chris was alluded to earlier. He said that it's a thing of it's Tom Holland. You know, what does Tom Holland want to do?
Hopefully.
Yeah. And if this is where if Marvel, you talk to Sony and be like, hey, look, if Tom doesn't want to do it, we introduce Miles Morales or something, you know. What is Spider-Man freshman year supposed to be? It's a cartoon or animated.
It does initially when it was announced, it was supposed to be part of the MCU. It took place before Spider-Man Homecoming, but now it's just a different version of Spider-Man, and they're introducing Norman Osborn and a bunch of other Spider-Man-esque characters, you know, like Amadeus Cho. They're bringing in a character from the Runaways, and they're using different costumes. But it's not MCU, not canon with Earth 616 in the movies, in the shows. It's its own thing, but it will still be on Disney Plus.
Matt Smith dancing to "Having Sex" song was the best part.
God, what the hell? Matt Smith and Jared Leto should have swapped the roles. The movie wouldn't have been any better, but they should have. Jared Leto should have been the bad guy. Matt Smith should have been Morbius. I stand by that. Like I mean, like what the hell? That movie was just.
I trust you.
It was fine. It wasn't bad. I wouldn't say Morbius is bad, but it was just very boring. I almost fell asleep watching the shit. I didn't care. I wanted to care. But Avatar, that was my big takeaway. Besides Marvel, I guess Shazam, to go full circle in the conversation. Shazam, I'm looking forward to Fury of the Gods, very much so, and Black Adam.
Who are the villains in that movie?
I don't know their names, but it's Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren. Those are the two. They're playing the two villains, and shit, Helen Mirren was just like chatting it up with Billy Batson. Like it was, I don't know what the approach for this movie is going to be, at least in regards to the villains. But hey, another step towards possibly crossing over with Black Adam. Hopefully,
Shazam. I mean, I like at the end of Shazam where they're all sitting there and it goes, "Hey, there's an empty seat," and you knew who it was for, and it was like and this kind of like again, it feels I don't know where to go, and this is why I say I'm so frustrated with DC because they don't have a direction. Figure out something and just go with it. Not stop doing all this other stuff. Like I get it. If you just don't care anymore, then make whatever movies you want, but get a direction and go that way. I know the Ezra Miller thing is causing a lot of issues because that was huge part. Going to be a huge part of changing things. So you got to figure that out. What do you think they're going to do with that, real quick? We haven't talked in a while. What do you think they're going to do with that whole? You think they're going to release it and then just replace them later, or they're going to reshoot stuff?
I think we're going to get an Ezra Miller-led Flash movie. Now, how do you promote it? I have no idea. But I think they're going to redo the ending of the film to where Ezra Miller is not Barry Allen anymore. It'll be somebody else.
Or
Now,
does
who that
Wally
person is,
West,
I have no idea.
or does Wally West take over?
Um, I don't know if they plan on introducing Wally West in this movie. I'm
Oh,
gonna say,
but to replace him, it would make sense.
oh, I mean, yeah, but I've been in the camp of let's pay Grant Gustin, the TV Flash, millions of dollars and have him be the Flash on film, but I don't know if he wants to play the Flash anymore. So or at least a different version of the Flash that he's already been playing for almost 10 years. So I don't know. I have no idea. But I think Ezra will still be the lead of that film. There's no way they don't release that movie. We will see it. And it's going to be whatever it is. But Ezra Miller, he will not be a part of promoting that movie. They're going to promote it off the back of Michael Keaton is back as Batman. That's going to be the big selling point.
I was so wanted to see this. Like, I'm gonna see it, but I was like hyped for it because I grew up when 1989 Batman came out. The fact that they showed the original Batman mobile, I was like, oh hell yeah, I'm down for this movie. And Ezra just had to go screw it up. Now I can't.
Well,
I don't even want to get into that
apparently-
conversation.
Yeah, because of course, whatever the hell Ezra Miller is doing, I don't like. None of us here endorse their actions, but I'm gonna sit here and wait for this Flash movie, and I do want to see Michael Keaton on the big screen again. But Michael Keaton is also supposed to be in Batgirl, and Batgirl might come out before the Flash does. So who knows? Who the hell knows at this point? But we were supposed to get that Flash movie in a couple months, and it got pushed back to next June. Who knows? Lord knows we don't. Lord knows we don't.
Oh no! If we did, we wouldn't be doing a YouTube channel. I tell you that much.
Right. And of course, like all the other Marvel stuff, like Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, like all that stuff.
They released trailers there, but they didn't show it to the public, right?
Yes, they're not public. I know there's leaks out online.
Yeah,
at least I know there's a leak of the Ant-Man stuff, but nothing from Guardians. At least besides the picture of little baby Rocket Raccoon that went viral, that everyone was fawning over. But besides that, nothing else that I know of that went public. Besides Wakanda and all the titles and phases for stuff, but nothing else official from Marvel. But I'm excited for all that Marvel stuff, all of it. I can't wait to see it.
Absolutely. I like I said, I was talking to, I believe it was Bronny, and I said, I don't think Marvel's dropping anything, and they dropped everything. I was like, they're not going to drop nothing.
I mean, they almost had to drop a Black Panther trailer because, the movie comes out in less than 4 months. It's 11/11/22. So it has to drop out. It has to drop in 4 months. Yeah, they give us a trailer. The big question is the next trailer. What do they show us? That is the question. Like, are they going to give us more hints on who Black Panther is? Are they going to show us that Shuri's Black Panther? Are they going to show us that Nakia's Black Panther? Just the one thing I do know, unless Winston Duke did some real working out in the meantime, M'Baku is not Black Panther. That's the one thing we can rule out. At least that's the guess. But anything else is possible. Who knows?
Absolutely. Well, Chris, it has been awesome hanging out with you, talking our nerd stuff. As I always see is the back of Chris right now.
Hold on,
let's appreciate it.
My charger. I can hear you.
Let's appreciate all that back of Chris Anthony Lopez. That is the back that carried a lot of podcasts.
No, stop
in its
it.
time.
Stop it. I was plugging in my charger. Stop it.
That's the back that carries Chris for Chris's sake.
Oh, now that I can confirm. That's a fact. But everything else is that.
But no, Chris. Obviously, I always love hanging out with you and talking nerd stuff, talking anything, just talking to you. All the conversations
Likewise,
we have. We have tons of conversations, and I always hit you up and send you funny TikToks, and you just laugh and hit me back up laughing. But obviously, it was a pleasure hanging out with you for the last hour and a half, talking Black Panther.
No doubt.
And talking just all the MCU, DC stuff, all of it. So, before we get out of here, man, where can people find you? Where can the good folks see that beautiful face?
I mean, I don't really do too much on camera stuff now. I'm trying to change that. Trying to get my life situated, but you can hear all my thoughts about a bunch of stuff on Twitter at the letter C Anthony Lopez. On Instagram, the letter C underscore Anthony Lopez. You can see my face on there when I post pictures. But I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, doing stuff. There it is, right there. Boom. That's my Twitter. Trying to do more stuff on camera. My podcast, For Chris's Sake. I'm gonna do a pod soon, talking about all of Phase 4, 5. Uh, because they gave us a lot, so I'm gonna try and get my thoughts on Comic Con as a whole. Uh, Primarily the Marvel stuff because Lord knows I can talk, but I do a bunch of stuff on there. So just check me out. I share everything I do here at C Anthony Lopez, and hopefully, she'll go invite me back on his channel. I was on Flick and Reel, buddies of ours, Jesse Swift, Sean Wingblade, who just popped in the chat. What's up, Sean? Allison Salamoni.
The
I may be
alimony.
popping up. Yeah, the alimony without the divorce. I may be popping up on Watt again soon. Who knows? Who the hell knows? If people ask me to do stuff, I will typically say yes unless I'm busy or at work. So
I mean,
who
I've
knows?
been I've been I've been asking you to move to Cali for the last year, so
You
it's
have,
obviously.
and I mean, I just moved to this new apartment. I'm still in Chicago, but who knows what the future holds, man? Who knows? I've been telling you I want to go back to California. It's been a minute. I know our
It has
buddy
been.
Taylor Cleek in the chat. He's been going to Cali for Schmodown stuff a lot recently, and I know like just because the Schmodown may be coming to an end, it doesn't mean we got to stop going to California. That's not what that means, dog. I'm
Yeah.
looking to the future, baby. I can't wait, and I'm gonna see
Yeah.
your little pretty face soon.
Yeah, we need to go to another Mexican restaurant and get big old chugs of margaritas and karaoke. Remember that good? That was a great night, as far as I
That
remember.
that was just a fun like week, you know. That was
Yes,
so rad,
absolutely.
and I
That
can't
was.
wait. But in the meantime, I got to be an adult. I got to go to work, I guess, and I'm out
do
here.
we
But
do we have to be adults?
we kind of gotta be adults. But on Twitter, see Anthony Lopez. Just go ahead and follow me, holla at me. If you want to collab on stuff, let's do it. I'm always down.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris is amazing. He obviously, he's a great talker. Has a lot of knowledge, and just
Too
I
good
love
to me,
hanging out
man.
with him. Oh no, you're awesome, Chris. Thank you very much for hanging out with me.
No
And
doubt.
for me, obviously, Suge Knight 323 TikTok, Twitter.
Follow my man.
My Twitch is Suge Knight 1323. I have been streaming a lot on the weekends, playing Magic tournaments, and trying to do more streaming. I will announce now, starting August 8th, every Monday, me and Colin Morris will be doing a Ravens Steelers podcast. We will be talking Ravens and Steelers every Monday, starting August 8th. Talk and breaking down any news, games every week. So, if you know anything about the Steelers and the Ravens, we're bitter rivals. So it's gonna be awesome hanging out with him and talking. He's a very knowledgeable sports person, and I love arguing and talking sports. So starting Mondays, we will be that podcast will start coming out. What's the name of it? You gotta wait, and it'll be a surprise, Mister
Aw, snap.
Ravens.
That'll be a
Corey
surprise.
Corey Corey Cameron
Sounds
sounds
terrible.
terrible. Absolutely, it's gonna be terrible. And then, like I said, on the weekends or when I can, I do stream on Twitch. Obviously, just doing. I do a lot of Magic content there. I will be doing more on this channel. Be uploading gameplay and things like that. And I'll try to do more lives. Whether it's talking comics, whether it's talking just whatever. I will be on here more often, and I'll try to get Chris back. Yeah, no, Minka, stop riding bikes. Just stop. Okay, can you please stop riding bikes? Apparently, he doesn't know how to ride a bike. Look like Joe Biden riding a bike. Um, so yeah, and yeah, just thank you, appreciate it for everybody that hung out with us, everybody that was here talking MCU stuff, things like that. Appreciate it. If you are watching this video later, comment if you heard something we said you agree with or you don't. Give us your thoughts. I'd love to hear it. How do you think Namor is going to play into the future of MCU? How do you think the X-Men are going to be introduced? How do you think Fantastic Four is Doctor Doom the big baddie? Or is it Mr. Sinister, or is it
Oh,
somebody else?
don't say that, dog. Don't say,
Hey, I'm
don't
just
make up
saying,
Mr.
it's all
Sinister.
open. It's all open.
It's
Let
possible
let
now,
us
baby.
know. It is. Let us know what you think. Also, make sure to hit up Watt Real Entertainment. Even though me and Chris don't do much on there, we're still part of it. They're still family. Follow them, Watt Real Entertainment. They're still doing a Schmodown show. They're doing a sports show. I don't know if Real Scared's coming back, but Taylor Cleek
It should,
is a part
baby.
of that. It should. I love watching it. So make sure to follow them. And I'm going to shout out also to Ravens Online Gatekeepers. Just hit us 1,000 subscribers. Make sure to follow them if you enjoy Ravens content. Shout out to Lunch Break Hot Take. Those are my boys. They do a great job breaking down Ravens and Panthers podcast. And also Sean Wienblade. Make sure to follow Flick and Reel. Make sure to follow all these shows. They have so much diversity. Also, Ring Kings podcast. I'm gonna shout that one out. We did a top 10 pound for pound list. It's out right now, and I am getting yelled at by Matty Gunner or actually he's yelling at them, but I'm also getting yelled at. So make sure to check that out. It's always great to hang out with these guys and talk sports with them. Once again, thank you very much. I appreciate all of you for hanging out. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. We will talk to you later. Have a good night. Be safe. Take care.